The next visual effect we want to try is colorize. So I can grab the colorize effect, drag it over to the calculator. Now I dragged the effect directly to the media on the canvas, but I could have dragged it down to the clip on the timeline. Choose whichever way makes the most sense to you. I want to mention that this is typically something I do early on in my video editing, and I want to suggest the same to you too. The reason I do this toward the beginning of editing is because I want the effect applied across the entire video. If I start editing and I have multiple clips, or if I add some animations and then add this effect, then I have to go back and copy and paste the properties for every other clip. So if you decide to add this effect later in your editing process, make sure to look at your video before and after the effect to make sure that the effect is applied wherever you want it. You can see that by default, it will colorize anything that you apply it to green. Now, this bright green is not something that we probably want, so find a different color. Maybe you want a darker green. Oh, okay, yeah, that looks better. Or maybe you want something else, like maybe this purple color. And then what you can do is you can affect the amount that it's coloring it. So here was the original down at 0%, and then we just made it a darker purpley color. And we can apply that by just dragging it to the right. Similarly with this paintbrush, we can do the same thing. I'll bring colorize over to that guy. Again, it goes to green by default. Let's try this light blue color instead, and then it just colors everything to that shade. So if there are things that you want to have a specific color to, you can use colorize to do that. Now, occasionally, I will use that on a video as well, and I'll show you what I mean by this. There are sometimes when I look at a video and the color's off a little bit. Maybe, for example, it's too bluish, and I need to add some orange. So what I'll do is I'll do a colorize, and then I'll say I need to add a little bit of orange to counteract all that blue. So I'll find the orange color I want, and then I'll drop the effect down to like 1 or 2%. So here you can see, like now I've only added it, here's like 13%. It's barely, worth noticing. So the background has changed. If I remove this effect, you can see, oh wow, it does look a lot bluer. Now I'll bring that effect back, and there it is, more orange. So if you want to, you can use it to add slight tint of color to your video. I wouldn't mess around with this too much though, but it is an option for you if you need to add a bit of color. Usually I try to find something that's close to a skin tone, so I try to find something that's more orange or brown, and that helps to kind of liven the person's skin tone if they look too washed out or too pale.